All right, there we go. Okay, you ready?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a quick live with our GGR entrant Edward, who returned to Les Sables d'Olonne, as most of you know. And we thought we'd do a little interview to check how you're doing and what are the news, how was the sailing out there, and to give us a little update and a bit of an insight into the start of the race. So, first of all, are you doing well?
I'm doing excellent. You know, I'm in Les Sables d'Olonne, so it's the best place for solo sailors. So I'm doing okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great experience, the race village. How did you experience the 2 weeks leading up to the start and the start on the water itself?
Well, it was amazing, you know, and even my guests and people who came to help me load the boat, they were saying that the atmosphere was really, really amazing. So a good event.
Yeah, incredible, huh? Especially on the start day, or the spectator boats on the water.
Yes.
The big fleet leaving into the Bay of Biscay, and we saw a lot of weather. You saw a lot of weather in the Bay of Biscay. Can you tell us a bit about what were the weather conditions and the swell, the wind, the upwind sailing?
Well, we all knew, I guess, from internet, from Predict Wind or Windy, that it's not going to be very easy, and that after 1 or 2 days, depends where you are going to sail, you will face some strong winds and bigger waves. So according to my analysis, I didn't want to go south because I anticipated that there will be no wind there. And regardless, I don't feel very well to be too close to the shore on the edges of the semi-stationary low. And because it was semi-stationary, you could not really count on wind shift. You just have to kind of tack and plow through and see what happens. And Noah's jest on the 2 reefs, when we entered the time when we had some 40, maybe 50 knots, because I never measured. But according to the forecast, there was some patches of 40 to 50. Under 2 reefs, and Stacey was sailing 6, 7 knots sometimes in upwind, and it was pleasant sailing for me.
And no leaking, no dripping on the bunk?
No leaking, because I fixed all the windows and chain plates and so on. There was a bit humidity because you had to keep everything closed, and so you could have some dripping. But other than that, and also kind of disappointing that when you sail, you made maybe 20 miles, 30 miles on the tack because of the waves 3 meters and so on. But I enjoyed actually that sailing, and Rastler really takes the waves fantastically. Especially we were sailing in those conditions upwind.
Fantastic. So your plan would have been to go due west, and a bit what Tapio was doing, to go out and then do those one big tack south, or to stay in the middle.
Well, my plan was not as what Tapio was doing, because I knew it is semi-stationary low, and there will be no wind shift.
Right.
And so I was trying to go shortest way to finish there.
Okay.
And doesn't matter what the weather will be. And actually on the second day, I had the Astro position. And on the first night, I had the position from Rosebound lights.
Yeah.
And
Off on the plateau.
yes,
off the coast of
you could take the direction, and then at one point they kind of line up, right? And on the third day was more wind and waves 3 meters, and there were some few hours, 2-3 hours, winds probably 40 something. because as I said, I didn't bother to take my mechanical measurement out
Yeah,
there
yeah,
to
yeah,
see. And as you know, we don't have any measurement, but I didn't feel I need to measure the wind, and we were sailing very well, and we start tacking towards Finisterre, right? And if not my personal family problems, which they were in my head,
Right.
which they surfaced a day before the start, so I even didn't have time to kind of analyze everything. I would be in the fourth day rounding Finisterre because I was pretty close there.
Right. Yeah. So, and you already mentioned it briefly. Where at one point you turned around and you slowed down the boat a bit, and you had to do you had to make some decisions, some very tough decisions.
Yes.
What was the story there?
Yeah. Some people told me that I was sailing for some moments. I don't know how the tracker does, because I found last year and this year that the tracker sometimes, at least my tracker, was showing a slower speed than I had.
Okay.
And also I had some problems with the staysail furling, so maybe that slow speed was related to because I had to go there like on the bow and try to fix the furling.
So you slowed down the boat a bit.
Yes.
I mean, the tracker does a momentary transmission, so of course it can be with a big swell. Sometimes you're in the surf and sometimes you're not, and so it just takes us 1 second and then you get the ping. So of course there's some variety of the accurate speed, of course. Yeah.
So if I was sailing, let's say 6 knots or 7 knots, and then suddenly I was sailing 1.5, it doesn't take average, it just takes momentary.
It takes the moment and then it gets the transmission.
It took a wrong moment.
Yeah. Right.
But the sailing, I have to admit that sailing was amazing. It was one of the best ever sailing on the Bay of Biscay for me.
Oh, fantastic.
And I sailed already in the Bay of Biscay over the last 2 years, about 30 days.
Yes.
Because, coming in, going out, coming from England, coming and then going to Spain and back. And when I was sailing back to Les Sables this year across Atlantic, I was held about 5 days in the Bay of Biscay because of strong easterly winds and the waves, and I was making slow progress. So
just the weather you like.
Yeah.
So maybe you should start thinking about going around the world the wrong way.
Maybe.
So, but saying I mean, what I hear is that you enjoyed being on the water, you enjoyed sailing, and that the task of sailing around the world, that was not at all the issue of going back for you. So
no.
So what are the plans? I mean, you're gonna go back on the boat. You're gonna leave the boat in Les Sables d'Olonne. What is the plan ahead now? If there's already something in place.
Well, the North Atlantic is not very friendly after September. So I'm not going back to Canada with the boat at this moment, and I'm preparing the boat to winterize and put on hard, and I hope to return in April. I load everything back to the boat because I'm putting almost everything to the storage, and sail across Atlantic to Canada, and hope I have a boat ready for GGR, so I hope I can still do it sometimes. So.
Oh, okay. So that's a name noting down for the next edition already. Maybe. And you said you told me yesterday that your storage space got a bit bigger than before because you have more gear on the boat.
Yes, I have so much gear on the boat, and I had to rent a bigger storage. I don't think so. I have a lot more than other people, except maybe. Some spare parts, because I had like 2 wind generators and 2 hydro vanes and 2 Watson-C, and I had 6 valise kind of navigation aids because of the radio signals, the lights, and everything what you need to approach those. Photo gates. Right? Okay,
so the plan is to winterize the boat, leave it in Les Sables d'Olonne for now,
yes,
and then come back probably next year, and then maybe take her back home to Canada.
Yes, because if I let's say will do this again, right, and hope complete, then then I will still make some changes because it is a learning process, right? And everything is pretty good, but some of it could be better.
Of course, I mean we
Yes.
see that with Ayrton in the conversations with Ayrton from his experience from 2018 and how well he prepared and relaxed he went to the start this year, and
Yeah.
I think it does make a big difference, and it gives it an advantage also to
Also,
have that.
absolutely, I have everything what is needed. That's one thing, but also what it is that I didn't have access to the boat for 14 months because of pandemic, and there were things done maybe not the way I maybe wanted now, right? Because I might mount something different or make some changes and so on. So it really actually looks like you need about 3 years time
Probably, yeah.
to prepare the boat, right?
To get the boat ready and to do the training on the water.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
yeah. So you need so that 4 years space is just about good, because then first year you sign or something, and then 3 years to prepare the boat. And I had only 2 years, right? And from those 2 years,
Absolutely.
14 months were just a virtual refit.
Time is one of the biggest pressures, probably besides the financial pressures, and especially with COVID and the restrictions you had. So okay, so that sounds like there are big plans ahead and preparations, and
I still definitely would like to go around the world solo non-stop. So,
but we're all just very happy that you're doing well, and that
Thank you.
I also saw a very happy wife
Okay.
to have Edward back, and we just wish you all the best and
Thank you.
good of luck for the next years, and I'm sure we will see each other again.
oh yes, I hope so.
Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you very much, Edward.
Thank you.
And take